Hello and welcome to my channel Reddit Stories. Let's start a dramatic story of my relationship. I am a 40-year-old male, and my wife Paula is a 43-year-old woman. I first met Paula at my aunt's house during my cousin's birthday party. She was my cousin's girlfriend when I met her. She seemed nice and had a very extrovert, fun personality. She served me cake and was asking everyone to eat properly. Her manners inspired me. I thought my cousin was lucky to have such a cool girl, Paula, and I briefly chatted about my cousin's childhood memories. That birthday party of my cousin was fun that night. Paula added me on Instagram, and I accepted because she was dating my cousin, and she was basically a part of my family to me. A few months later, I found out my cousin had broken up with Paula. Upon hearing this, I considered removing Paula from my Instagram, but decided against it because it would appear rude after her breakup with my cousin. Paula began posting provocative photos of herself on Instagram, which drew my attention, but I never messaged her. Then one day I was at Gibson's Bar and Steakhouse in Chicago and saw Paula there. She recognized me and came racing up to hug me. She acted as if we'd known each other for decades, despite the fact that we'd only met once, and that was through my cousin. Paula invited me to dine with her, but because I was with my friends, I lightly declined her invitation. Later that night, Paula messaged me on Instagram. We talked about each other. I found her interesting, and that's how our romance began. After dating Paula for a year, we planned to marry, which my cousin did not attend, but my aunt encouraged my relationship with Paula, saying her son was overreacting and that I was destined to be with Paula, and it was the work of God. Paula and I married with our family's blessings. The first year of our marriage was romantic. Paula and I traveled to different countries. And Paula lost her job because of a lot of vacations from work. When Paula lost her job a year after our marriage, she began pressuring me to invest in her business, claiming she wished to be a modern entrepreneur woman. I was a working-class man who worked as a manager in a pharmaceutical company, so I was not in a position to invest in any business. When I informed Paula that I couldn't invest in her business, she came up with the idea of opening a salon and borrowing money from everyone in my family and her family. I was against getting loans from others because it could harm our relationship with them. But Paula wasn't interested in applying for a loan from banks because she said she would have to do a lot of paperwork, so she began convincing my family to give her a loan. I was very ashamed by her act. She persuaded my mother by stating how wonderful it would be to have a family salon, and she borrowed money from my aunts, uncles, and other family friends. Paula has such a convincing power that people blindly loaned her money. She persuaded them by promising them free services and a quick repayment of their money. My aunt and mother had long wanted to open a family salon, so they not only gave my wife money but also assisted her in hiring qualified construction workers. After getting money from everyone, Paula hired an architect to convert our back room, garage, and garden into a salon. She had planned to use the entire house except our bedroom, but I was against it and we had a huge argument about it. So in the end Paula left a few rooms for our family and used the rest of the house for the salon. She was using the property for business purposes, which I knew would raise our electricity and other bills, but Paula was not willing to listen to anyone, and even my mother was on Paula's side. My mother continued telling me that I should support Paula, so it was difficult for me to fight with two people who were dear to me. So I decided to let Paula do what she wanted with her salon business. Paula purchased new furniture, which cost her a lot of money, but she didn't care. She then began hiring staff for the salon, individuals to our house for interviews for her salon staff. I was so bothered by all of this. Tone evening when I got home from work there were 15 masseurs, hairdressers and makeup artists sitting in our TV lounge and Paula was interviewing them, and while her salon was still under construction, every candidate was sitting in our lounge. I was shocked to see my house full of strangers, which enraged me so much that I yelled and kicked everyone out. Paula was horrified to witness my conduct and started arguing and lecturing me on how I should behave properly with the workers and how behaving nicely with people is important for her reputation. I urged her to stop and how I couldn't let strangers into my living room. I informed her how her new business was affecting our peace and marriage, but Paula disagreed. Accusing me of being selfish and refusing to listen to my concerns, she yelled back, telling me that she would not be my wife for at least 6 months because she needed to devote her full attention to her business. After our disagreement, Paula stopped inviting people into our TV room and instead started conducting interviews via Zoom, and initially she hired 2 people, Tina and John. My wife Paula introduced me to John, a hairdresser, and Tina, an expert in beauty and skin care. John and Tina were both incredibly welcoming and pleasant people. John hugged me and exclaimed how handsome I was. I laughed, and Paula warned me that John was gay. I quickly made friends with Tina and John, especially John, who would spend the day and night at our house. Because the salon business was in its early stages, Tina and John were involved in everything from decor to marketing and would spend the most of their time at our house. Throughout the night, John, Tina, and my wife Paula would devise marketing plans, laugh, eat, and cook. On weekends, I would occasionally join them. John and I instantly became great friends. Even my mother adored him. He had a terrific sense of humor and would make great fashion suggestions about everything. Paula's online marketing plan was successful, and a large number of customers began to visit the salon for haircuts, massages, and facials. I instructed Paula not to provide massages to any male customers, and she declared she certainly wouldn't do that, but John chuckled and said he'd gladly do it. Paula was giving huge discounts to customers, so she declared that she wouldn't be able to make a profit for at least a year. I was concerned about all the loans she took to start all this business, but Paula told me not to worry and that it wasn't my business. So I stopped thinking about it because I wasn't the one who took all of the loans. When the salon opened, Paula and I were living like roommates. Our marriage had come to a halt, and Paula spent all day and night in the salon or planning marketing plans for the salon. When I mentioned how lonely I felt at times, Paula explicitly stated that if I wanted to open our marriage, we could do so. I was astonished and upset by her statement because she was valuing her business over our marriage and I was only a friend or a support source for her. I told Paula that we couldn't open our marriage and that I was ready to support her completely, but I wasn't sure because if I said I was ready to open our marriage, Paula would start a relationship with someone who would provide financial aid to her business, and I knew she was willing to go to any length, which is why she came up with the idea of open marriage. I was working full-time, and when I returned home, it felt like I had returned to another office because Paula was constantly discussing salon finances or business strategy to increase business. So I decided to spend more time outside. I told Paula that I had accepted a part-time job so that I could participate more financially in our house. Paula was so mentally immersed in her business that she didn't question my decision, and I took advantage of Paula's carelessness and installed Tinder on my phone. I needed a normal love relationship since I didn't want to talk about business all day and night, and Tinder Dates gave a fantastic escape. I never meant to cheat, but my wife had no time for me. My mental health was suffering, and I expressly told my Tinder Dates that I was not interested in a long-term commitment and was only seeking for a good time. I would go on dinner dates, spa dates, sport dates, and coffee dates with various women after work, or sometimes with the same women on the third and fourth date. Spending time away from home provided me mental tranquility. I explored new restaurants, foods, and adventures with different women, and Paula had no idea what was going on because she was practically married to her salon business. I even went to a different state with my date and told Paula I was going on a work meeting. My time away provided me with mental serenity. My mood improved at work and with Paula. Her business discussions no longer irritated me. In fact, I was able to provide her with smart ideas for her business. She was thrilled to see a positive change in me. So Paula would schedule a dinner date for us at home and order my favorite food to express her gratitude for my support. I felt awful for her because she had no knowledge about the reason of my sudden shift in attitude and behavior. I had regrets about it, but Paula pushed me away. I would encourage Paula to schedule these dinner dates exclusively on weekends because I was always busy during the week with other women. And Paula was also busy with her clients on her salon. Paula was becoming well known on social media because of her salon and cheap rates for haircut and different services. And she had a large following on Instagram and Facebook. She didn't have time to manage her social media accounts, so I volunteered to do it on her behalf. Paula opened her Instagram account on my phone as well, and I had to answer customer questions, post marketing reels, and respond to comments. This was simple for me because I was active on social media, and I felt like I could help Paula by doing so. I needed to do something for her to ease the guilt I was feeling from cheating on her. My life had become enjoyable. I would go to work, then spend time with Tinder dates after work, and on weekends, would spend time with Paula. I was pleased until one day when I got off work early and had a date with a girl named Sophia. I was about to arrive at the restaurant when I received a text from Sophia saying she wasn't feeling well and couldn't make it, so we had to cancel our date. I had some free time that day. So I decided to go home to get a rest or spend time with Paula and her hairdresser John, who had become a friend of mine. When I arrived home, I saw that John was leaving. I asked him why he was leaving so early. John avoided eye contact with me and reported Paula had a special customer, so he had to leave. I didn't understand what he was saying. But I knew he was giving me some indications as a friend, so instead of heading directly to our house, I opted to go towards the backyard to enter the salon. There was silence in the entire salon. So I entered silently without making any noise. When I opened the door, I was shocked to see Paula with my cousin, the same cousin who was in a relationship with Paula before our marriage. Paula was giving him a massage. The scene between them made me so angry, but instead of showing rage, I took out my phone and started a live stream of Paula and my cousin from Paula's business Instagram account. Within seconds, thousands of people began viewing the live video, with many commenting on how cheap Paula was. Updates: Paula's cheating video received thousands of views. Her friends, my mother, and other relatives who provided her a loan watched it and were outraged since her salon customers were calling her names. When Paula saw me standing there making video of her, she got pale. She came running and tried to take my phone from my hand, but I pushed her. I kicked my cousin. And he said he had no interest in Paula, but Paula requested him to invest in her business, and he thought that was the perfect way to exact revenge on me. I kicked him out of my house. Paula started crying when she checked her phone and realized what I had done by going live on her account. She was badly crying because she knew it was over for her. I asked her to leave my house immediately. She begged me because she knew leaving my house meant leaving her business, marriage, and investment, but I forced her to leave. I had no interest in this commercial marriage. My mother and other relatives have been pressing Paula to refund their money or they will file a report. Paula has no money because she spent all of it on salon construction, furniture, and equipments. She has been losing her mind. I have decided to file for divorce as well. Paula calls me daily to ask for forgiveness. I sometimes think to forgive her because I had dated numerous women during our marriage, but Paula pushed me in that direction. She not only ruined our marriage, but she also ruined my personality. And she chose to cheat with my cousin for money. Everyone advises me to divorce her, but Paula's request for forgiveness sometimes confuses me. I can't decide whether to divorce her or not, and I can't forgive her, so I'm here to ask for advice. Whether I should file for divorce or give our relationship some time and contact her after a few months separation. My heart is unable to forgive her. Please share your thoughts on this. Thank you for listening to my relationship experience. I look forward to your opinion and suggestions.